First of all, with the forgiveness, because I was victimized twice at a young age. And for myself, I had to get to that place where, Glenda, it wasn't your fault. Look how old you were when it did happen. So it was not like you had that right to say, okay, we can da da da, X, Y, and Z. That was something that was done, upon myself, and nothing that I asked for. A lot of times we'll hear people to say, well, you was asking for it because you was wearing this, or, whatever, the story may be, or what have you. But for me, like I said, I was very young when it did happen. And I had to get to that place to where, like I said, it's not my fault. I didn't do this, but however, this particular individual has a problem that now she has to, to deal with, because my first person was a female, and then the second time was a male. So with that being said, I had to, like I said, get to that place to where, Lord, touch her heart and her mind and restore her, because this is not, it's about me, because I was victimized, I was violated, but at the end of the day, she has a problem. That's something that she has to deal with, and she has to get to that place to where, Lord, forgive me, but I have a problem. And I state that, in my book, so for me, I was open to forgive, because I was so young. A lot of times, like now, because we're older, it's I think it's a little bit easier to say, I don't have to forgive you, which in a sense, no, we don't, but when we say forgive, we have to mean that from our hearts and take it in. And it's not really about that other person. It's about you releasing that and not carrying that weight and that burden and things of that nature. So then even across the board, and when we talk about parishioners, because we're hearing a lot of that, now, and you're held accountable for what you do. No matter who you are, where you come from, you're raised, any of that, you're held accountable, and you have to answer to God, of course, for that, for your behavior, I say seek help and seek counsel. A lot of times in the church, we don't want to go to counselors. We say that our counseling comes through going to church, to release it and things of that nature. But then when you go back home after you finish shouting and praising the Lord, and you're doing all of that, you still have a problem that has not been resolved. You just polished it just for that moment, but you really have to forgive in your heart, and then you have to embrace and own and know that you have a problem. And it has to be fixed. And of course, we know that through God, He does the change, He does the fixing. We know that, but then you have to take the necessary steps. You have to put in the works. Faith without works is dead. So if you don't put in the work, so that's where you have to forgive, you have to move on, you have to embrace what you're out there doing, because you're accountable. You're accountable. And a lot of times now in the church, we're not holding people accountable, because we figure you have that title of bishop, pastor, apostle, and all of these things, but you have a problem, and it has to be fixed. You have to put in the work. It's a journey, step by step.